Hello and welcome back to the Voice of Youth podcast. Today we have an extremely special guest. He's only 15 years old, already has his own clothing line and business. Please welcome Matt Bailey. Matt, how are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
We're ready to go into detail about what you do, how you do it at a young age. So thanks again and we'll get started. So first, what's Lilac? Who are you? What is it?
Alright, so it's independently run streetwear brand, which is just me out of Perth, printing quality garments out of Melbourne and then shipping them to customers.
So it's streetwear brand, you're 15 and you've just done it all by yourself?
Yeah, pretty much.
So how long have you been running for?
I started it up in late December and then ever since then, pretty much.
And have you had the idea from like a young age?
Not really. It's sort of just always been like hovering in the back of my mind, and then sort of during the school holidays just thought, why not give it a shot?
Yeah. And so since December, but we've seen recently like you've popped off in the last couple months, has it been?
Yeah, it's really been the last month or so. It's got a bit
amazing,
bigger.
Man. Absolutely brilliant. So yeah, we'll get into let's start off from the bottom. What was the inspiration for starting?
Yeah, so I've always looking for obviously clothes I'd want to wear, and then I thought, why not design something that me and my friends would like to wear, because sometimes we can't find it. So it sort of began with me printing my own sort of stuff just for me, and then my friends all loved it and said, why not print it for some other guys, and it sort of went from there.
So you've always been into like fashion and streetwear. Were there any brands that you thought like?
Yeah, so locally, Street X sort of runs.
Obviously, that's the big one as well.
And then Butter Goods, those sort of brands, and then always have loved sneakers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's always all been an influence.
And with your friends, do you think that was a real like, right, I can do this? This is since that they loved it?
Because these types of brands sort of target these teenage guys, and I thought, if they like it, everyone else is going to like it as well, so why not?
So you kind of establish a market just by your mates.
Exactly, yeah.
And with your mates, obviously, was that a bit of, were they kicking you on to do it? And
Yeah, they've been good with their support, and yeah, they always thought, why not take it a bit bigger than just them.
So you had the inspiration, obviously you had your, where did you start, resources wise, how to make it, what to do, or?
Yeah, so it was super hard in the beginning because I had no one to really go to, because no one does this sort of thing. So I started sort of printing on Champion tees out of the US, but obviously that got pretty expensive pretty quick. And I was always sort of trying to switch around to the best place I can find in terms of quality and price. And just keeping it high quality for the consumer.
So you're at this point when you first started, just printing E14 then?
He just turned 15.
You just turned 15. So you're already showing that, it's all out there for you to find out. So have you kind of just, along the way, just found out about what to do and with the resource and stuff?
Yeah. It's sort of like, with this age, anybody can do it. So, yeah, it's just about learning as I go along. And every time I pick something up, I'll pass it on to whoever's next in line, I guess.
Kind of like a trial and error process, sort of.
Exactly.
It's so funny because it's a very common thing, but at 15, we had no clue. Obviously, there's the old pop-up, like, design, print your own shirt stuff. But what's, for example, as a starting point for a resource that, so let's say, the next Matt Bailey could use, have you got anything that you could say just online? And
in terms of design, it's great to do like a graphic design course at school.
Okay.
That really helps, but I outsource most of my graphics now, just because the quality, like, got to put out quality designs if you want them to sell. And then the manufacturers for like the blank t-shirts are always a bit harder because there's so much variety out there. It's quite hard to know where to start. But you just got to do your research and get a few samples and just put in the work and it'll pay off, I guess.
What was the first one like? Like, Were you just like chuffed?
I remember it was like the first tee was one of my friends, and you look online and it all seems really good, and then it comes in hand and it's a bit different to what you expect.
Yeah.
So you sort of realise what works and what doesn't, and then just move on to the next idea, I guess.
Mm-hmm. But when you got, obviously, it's like with anything, once the next one came, was it more better or?
Yeah, so I guess you find something good and you're always trying to obviously find something better, but if it doesn't work out, then all you've lost is like $10 on a tee. But if it's better, then you've got a new t-shirt print.
And potentially profit.
Yeah.
So we'll get to that point now. So where's the change from making it to your mates to thinking, hang on, I've got a business idea here?
Yeah, so it was sort of a slow transition because obviously they go wear the shirts and then all their friends
exposure
sort of ask, oh, where do you get that from? And it slowly just turns into something that your mates are buying, suddenly their friends' friends are buying, and then suddenly you get a few strangers and it sort of just morphs into
and you popped
different.
Off.
Yeah.
And so was there like an official launch day or?
I guess a site release.
The website?
Yeah, website.
Let's go into that. What did you use? We'll link for people listening, we're going to link the website to it.
Yeah.
How can someone
start so there's a lot of good e-commerce sort of platforms you can set up a website really easily on nowadays. So my site's run through Shopify. I'm not sure if you've heard of it.
We'll put that in the description as well.
US-based e-commerce site. And they'll handle everything from printing labels, managing orders, refunds, shipping policy, anything you need for the site, all for $30 a month. So it's not actually too bad if you're doing high volume. With the site, I haven't got it professionally developed. It's something I'm sort of looking into, but if you've got the products and keep it simple, like my site's super simple. It's just product page, header. It's not too hard to go wrong.
Did you do it yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's quite easy to access as well, isn't it? Oh, amazing. And we'll go into now from the website. You've done the website, have you got like product, supply, manufacturer sorted?
Yeah, pretty much. In fact, since I've launched the site, I've probably switched 2 or 3 times. So it's not really ever set in stone. But yeah, I didn't really want to put the site up till I knew what I was doing.
We'll go quickly into the detail about the manufacturers, but just quickly. So we've got a trend sort of. It's always looking what's new, what's better. How can I better it? That's the mindset constantly, isn't it?
Yeah.
So back into your manufacturers, you started off quite basic, your Champions tee from US. Did you make the switch for the launch or?
Yeah, I think I was running on the Champion tees probably the first 2 weeks of the launch. And then
you realised
it's too expensive and the shipping times were very long.
Yeah.
Shipping out of a US manufacturer.
So is your new one more local then?
Yeah, so printing in Melbourne and Queensland, I've got 2 printers, and then they supply the blanks for me, which are printed on an Australian blank supplier.
Oh, wicked. And with your design, we'll get into more what your design is and your labelling and marketing. How did you manage to get that design transcripted from onto the t-shirts just through printers and manufacturers?
So depends. I sort of try and switch between 2 sort of types of designs. I'll do like playful cartoon sort of graphics, and they're pretty simple. It's just you get the design file straight onto the shirt. And then some of the sport related and like pop culture related tees, it's a bit harder because you usually start off with an image or a scan, and I usually go to Photoshop and just cut out the picture, run some filters till it looks good for a t-shirt, and then it's straight on.
And it's quite an easy process then?
Yeah, so it's pretty streamlined. It's not too tough.
It's just so amazing to find that, without like, not your age or anything, but just how simple it is. And it's so good to see young people in the community doing so. But it is really accessible, isn't it?
Yeah. So
completely accessible. How did you go about the money? Because that will probably be the big one. Budget,
So I'm not sure if you've heard of drop shipping. So
okay.
I started off drop shipping, so you don't actually hold any stock, so there's no risk on it. So I just sort of took the profits from the shirts my friends bought, reinvested into buying some stock, advertising, all that sort of thing. And it's sort of just a bit of a loop, reinvest, take it out again.
Take it out again. Did you start off with any, obviously you have to put in your own money?
Yeah, already had a bit of pocket money saved up.
Saved up.
Yeah, just put it into the website, everything like that.
Important. Yeah. So let's go into your brand now. The brand itself is Streetwear. Talk to me about the market, the design.
Yeah, targeting mainly Perth at the moment, just trying to build up a sort of cult base here, and then started off with t-shirts, moved down into t-shirts and hoodies, and then now shorts, trackies and caps as well. Always trying to print on the highest quality garments, but still trying to keep it accessible from a price point, because a lot of the tees nowadays are like $70-$80. It's just too much for a teenager to be paying. So just trying to keep it accessible, still high quality, and graphics that everyone loves.
And there's quite a trend in the, let's say, the design and the print that you've gone on. So you've ranged from basketball through to AFL, movies as well?
A little bit, yeah. So I'm just looking through it now. Dennis Rodman, Michael Jordan, Shane Warne, Mike Tyson.
All quite iconic heroes.
Clive Waterhouse, Warren Kappa, yeah.
And with the teenage market, is it fair to say male will be
Definitely.
is 2020, but male? Do you find that with these particular icons, not just sport, but because maybe they're such high value in the culture, do you think that's helped with sale? And
yeah, that's exactly what it is. Like, you're surrounded by these sort of figures every day on social media, music, sport, everything that I'm involved with. And when I'm targeting like my friends for clothes, naturally that's what progresses into the stuff I produce.
And the Dennis Rodman and Jordan, we saw the Last Dance. Was there, and we actually saw that you released a Rodman tee when that was popping off.
Yeah, that was exactly the idea. So I was sitting at home watching the movie or documentary, and
unreal.
I was thinking, what can I do with this? And you just got to stay relevant, stay on top of it, and yeah.
Always looking for new ideas.
Exactly.
So do you think that could be, not giving away anything, do you think for people and for your brand, do you think staying up to the times and the trends
is
important?
StreetX is one of the best brands for that sort of thing. They'll always have the most relevant sort of graphics as opposed to just random stuff with little background meaning. So I took a bit of inspiration from them, just trying to stay with whatever's possible.
And they've actually got a Tottenham Spurs when they made it to the Champions League final.
Every time, right.
Important. We've got with the design itself as well. You can't have product or profit without the marketing of it. Social media, the obvious platform at such a young age, teenage audience. How important is the use of that?
Yeah, like pretty much everybody my age is on Instagram at the moment, and it's pretty much the most cost-effective way of advertising when you can build your own audience at no cost. And I also run Instagram advertising outside of that, so but yeah, all social media related.
What's your process with it?
So the actual advertising process is pretty complicated. You're always trying to it's essentially trying to find the best picture, best caption that will convert the highest rate for the brand.
Do you do it all yourself, all the media stuff?
Yeah, so I got a few guys in the streetwear community that help me out with it, always giving me tips on how to do it because they're so far along the process. But it's mostly, myself.
Amazing. Just outlining the importance of information from other people, do you think that, it's quite obvious with them, you've been able to get so far so quickly?
Yeah, it's essential because I guess the world we live in is so competitive, no one really wants to share the information, but when you do, it helps so much.
Is there that element though with, like you said, not wanting to share information? Has there ever been hostility?
Yeah, so I'll sort of reach out to like 5 or 10 brands that I look up to already for some help, and you'll see like 5 of them will reply saying, I'm happy to help, and then 5 of them won't reply, or they give something really blunt.
Cost or something. And let's just say for people that are, again, listening and trying to come up with it, social media, massively, well, the main marketing source.
Yeah,
sure. That's what it should be.
That's
for.
what it is.
And again, with other business owners, maybe teenage your age, how important is it to maybe help other business, help them expand?
Yeah, it's essential. Like, that's what the culture is. So you got to give back to what's helping you grow as a brand.
Like you've shouted out StreetX and other brands as well.
Yeah, well, Dan from StreetX has helped me a lot with the whole process. So
big up.
Yeah, for sure.
Of course. Now, so with your marketing, just quickly before getting to the next one, do you think as you get bigger, maybe you'll change strategies, or is it all about trial and error again?
It's a lot. I think I'll stick with social media just because it's seemingly the most effective at the moment, but it's obviously scaling it up and
it's successful, obviously.
Continually that.
Fantastic. And do your friends help with the sharing all that and having that circle around?
Super helpful. They always reshare whatever posts and stuff that I'm up to.
Get the people around you, all of that. And with in fact sharing and stuff, is it just going to be Instagram platforms, or are you going to maybe look for, is there other platforms to build?
Instagram's probably the most accessible in terms of relating it back to like the website and e-commerce, because they've got the shop feature that allows you to shop directly from, as opposed to like Snapchat and TikTok, which even though everybody's on it, you can't really link it so easily.
Yeah. Are you on TikTok with it?
What did you say?
Is Lilac on TikTok?
No. In fact, the models are.
I know the models are.
They're always wearing it, but
yeah. But you're not itself.
No, not
Thank God for that. No, I'm joking. How long before? Well, it's fair to say that you popped on social media quite a bit recently.
Yeah, it sort of coincided with the photo shoot that we did with all the models.
Let's go into that models first. So, with your marketing, is it easier with models or?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I ran some advertising run before the modeling just to compare it, and then after with the photos from the shoot, and the engagement, conversions, all the metrics, all up with the.
How do you think from public point of view? Do you think they perceive the models as more engaging? Yeah,
I think it's sort of that sort of social proof theory where you see someone with the clothes on, suddenly it becomes a bit more attractive in terms of a customer viewpoint, as opposed to just this blank sort of photoshopped image of a shirt. So
that's pretty much. So you've seen that there's proof of that, isn't there?
Yeah,
fantastic.
Numbers.
And with them you get free marketing as well.
Yeah, so they'll all reshare on their social networks, and obviously they'll want like everyone to see them. So obviously they want to do that as well.
Yeah. Of course, just quickly, we'll also be sharing all the social media networks, platforms, websites, Instagram, not TikTok. Obviously you don't have TikTok, so that's fine. But yeah, all of that will come in the description. So back to your success and growth. Let's get away from the social media aspect of it. Was there a point though, just selling the product, that maybe a timeline of when the finger clicked and sales can't start coming through? Yeah,
so the first probably 3 or 4 months, pretty slow up until sort of mid-March or April. And then, it's been growing from there, along with the photo shoot, obviously. And then when I first went into the sort of pop culture graphics, that really kicked off well with the Mike Tyson and Dennis Rodman. And it's been pretty good since.
After you've experienced some success, did you find it difficult to maintain, or did you kind of just learn along the way about how to maintain it?
Yeah, it's hard because it's been so short, but it's always a struggle because you feel like you've got to be growing month on month, but it's not very realistic to aim for that. So it's just about putting out good products and being good, honest company. And again, that's what the whole business is about. Yeah, exactly. Continuing to grow.
and for young aspiring people, not just street industry, but from business, with your experience for it, is that the overall message that you've got to go with?
Yeah, you just got to control what you can. Just put out good content, put out good products, just keep it to what the core of the brand's about, and success will follow, I guess.
Of course. And obviously you're not where you want to be yet, but you do want to move up into the next one. Have you found the next step for that, or?
Yeah, it's just consistency, I guess. That's one of the main keys, and just taking it slow, and just know that as time goes on, you're going to grow, but you can't have everything that you want right now.
And saying that at the start when maybe you weren't, it's hard. Perseverance the key?
Exactly. Like, it might not be going exactly how you want it to at the moment, but yeah, just keep persevering, and hopefully it comes.
Now, just quickly, with you're still in school and you're studying, I'm assuming, as well, what's the balance like? It must be quite difficult.
It's always study first.
Okay.
Usually, yeah.
And is that your advice for others as well?
Yeah. So I have free time in the holidays, and then that's where I put in the work. But during the school term, just put my focus into the studies.
And then, as a bonus, you have the business alongside it.
Yeah.
And that's always it's been as well.
Yeah.
And so would you say that it's important to maybe have a backup plan for if it doesn't?
Yeah. Well, because it's actually quite hard to earn money in this sort of, like, the margins on t-shirts and stuff. It's not huge, as opposed to like a consistently paying job. So I always thought the job's the first option, and this is just something that if it goes well, it goes well. And yeah, you always got to know it might not go as you want it to.
Such a mature young lad. No, but that's brilliant. So for all the people out there, you say the importance of having not backup, but having a other reference point.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. With the business itself, you're saying at the moment it's not coming second, but you've got other priorities as well. Do you think that where you're going in school, do you think you'll try and match up with maybe going into business when you're older? Will that help out with the business as well? So maybe doing a degree or something?
Yeah. Always been sort of business minded even before this.
Yeah.
In whatever investing class or whatever. So it's something I look into, but I think you actually learn a lot more from running the business than getting taught concepts in school. It's really two different things. So I think it's actually a lot more useful to try and start something up on your own rather than just sit in a class and take notes.
So do you think for the people that want to do that as well, do you think taking that step, or in some ways that risk even of starting up, do you think you've got to do that to experience?
I think the hardest bit's starting, honestly.
Okay.
So once you get started, it's sort of just continuing along the path.
And it's not all flashing lights and stuff. You're starting from your bedroom on a laptop, online, getting your experience from it. Yeah,
essentially that's what it is.
And talking to people and learning throughout the community.
Yeah.
Unreal. So you said that it's there's certain risks of starting up. Is there any risks? Well, do you feel that you have to take risks to maybe go next step or achieve more success? It's always about.
Yeah, for sure. So it's always hard to take the risk because it might not come off, but you're never really going to get anywhere unless you take a bit of a risk, and then hopefully it pays off. And if it doesn't pay off, think about what you could have done better for next time.
This is always a learning process. If you're not winning, you're learning.
Yeah.
Fantastic. What's the plan for Lilac? Is it just get bigger?
I guess that's the plan. You can't ensure that you're going to get bigger, but you can put in the plans in place to help their growth. So I've got a lot of graphics planned for the next few months, hopefully a few more photo shoots, bigger advertising. It's essentially just scaling up everything, hoping the business follows.
So just leveling up what you've already done.
Yeah.
And do you think in time maybe having your own shop would that? Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
No, that's the dream.
But that's the dream. Yeah.
It's pretty hard nowadays.
Oh, of course. With all the investing into property and all that.
Exactly.
So back to just advice for the youngsters, the risks. Do you think maybe, again, having that level-headed approach that, it's not about taking those leap forwards, maybe it's about just learning from where you're at now and learning how to get to maybe the next step instead of going right to the top?
Yeah, so it's very incremental. Like, you can't expect to just blow up overnight. But if you put the work in, I guess it comes. But a lot of people expect it to happen
Overnight.
Overnight, and it just doesn't work that way.
6 months it's taken to you to get here.
Yeah,
and you're still going for more and more and more.
Yeah.
Has there been a point where you thought, this isn't going to work?
The timing of it's been pretty good because it's sort of been continuous growth, but probably the hardest point was right before, probably late Feb or early March.
Right before
yeah,
COVID.
Right before, yeah. And you can hear the sort of COVID rumours spreading, and hadn't reached much success at that point. I'm like, obviously it's not too serious at that stage because you're just sort of pretty much showing to your mates, but so I wasn't too deep in then. But yeah, that's probably been the hardest bit so far.
Did it take a big hit for COVID?
It's been interesting. So originally I thought it would, but then I got a feeling it sort of evened out because everyone is just sitting at home with nothing to do. What else are they going to do?
I definitely had shop fever online.
So,
a couple new tracksuits.
Might have even helped.
Yeah, definitely. We've gone through how to run a business, steps you've had, inspiration for the younger generation coming through with it. Let's talk about Lilac. What's the future hold? Where is there anything coming up, or just
probably 3 or 4 big releases over the next few months, sort of just trying to space it out one a month. I'm really excited to drop all the new stuff, but just gotta keep it spread out. A lot of new photo shoots, better quality stuff coming in from Portugal. Yeah, so that should be pretty good. Should be some...
all gonna look clean for the summer.
Yeah, should be good.
Yeah,
summer wear.
Definitely. So if you see big things are coming, please get involved. We've got the website down below. But yeah, so people can find you online at the Instagram. What's the Instagram?
Matt Bailey 04 and then the Lilac at Lilac Worldwide.
Yeah, Lilac Worldwide. And is it lilacworld.com just for?
Worldwide.com, yeah.
Yeah, perfect. All right, fantastic. We'll link all of that stuff in, obviously, down below or whatever platform we are on. So yeah, please keep supporting. Please, let's see the growth. He's 15 years old and already, see, he's such a mature young head. But you can already see that he's making his own movement. So thank you, Matt, for coming on.
Thanks a lot.
For all the people listening, thank you as well. And we will see you soon. Bye-bye. This Voice of Youth podcast was recorded on the 27th of July. Guys, if you enjoyed, please go to all our socials. We're on Insta at Voice of Youth Pod, as well as Twitter. We're also on Facebook at the Voice of Youth Podcast. For streaming sites, we're on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and all of your other favourite streaming sites. Guys, please give us your feedback. We hope you enjoyed, and we will see you soon.